Hey everybody, it's Brian Trippe. I'm with the guinea pig, Michael Gentry. We're doing a lot of videos with Michael. We went out driving for dollars. We showed you how to skip trace while I was showing him. We showed you, answered a couple questions that he had. So now this is like the fourth or fifth video that we've done together. And now, so we've got all the addresses, and the one thing that I haven't looked at any of this, by the way, this is all like happening as we go, just so it's as organic as it could possibly be.
Off the cuff.
I don't like editing things out that are good teaching tools. But the first thing I noticed, and you haven't even opened your mouth yet, or you haven't even showed me anything, is that you did not get an Excel file to me.
Nope. I don't even have it on my laptop.
Okay. So the most important, just the teaching tool now. So what's going to happen is, if say you drive for $1, I typically tell people to drive for $1 1 hour a day. If you drive for $1 1 hour a day and you get 10 to 20 addresses per day, then now all of a sudden you got a 1 to 200 in a is that right? Yeah, in a 5-day week, or I guess 50 to 100. I'm sorry, you got 50 to 100 addresses in a 5-day week period. And so if you keep putting them on a piece of paper, it's gonna you're gonna paper everywhere.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason, it's not even that, but you could lose it. But the biggest reason is you're building your list. Your organic list that you are building, that you're not buying, you're building it, and you're eventually going to send this list off to the printer, because eventually you're going to, once you do a deal or two, this is your organic list, and you're going to send postcards and yellow letters and other stuff that I teach you kind of in Marketing 102. You're going to send stuff to this list. So you've got to have it not only in an Excel file, but it's got to be formatted with the right headings, so the printer can get it easily and mail merge it into the postcards or the letters. So you definitely need to get, when you do the addresses, you've got to do it in some sort of spreadsheet. Okay,
So I'm going to upgrade my tech.
Rule number 1: upgrade your tech. So Michael went on his own and got property addresses and mailing addresses for the property addresses that we already had,
yes,
and names.
Yes.
And you got how many, roughly?
25.
You got 25. Did you rabbit trail any of them to see if you could find any potential buyers?
I did some of them. Came up with a couple of potentials, but I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get off point to try to finish the list.
Okay.
To be done.
So the next step in this process is we've got to get in touch with these sellers, because it's one thing to go driving around and looking for vacant houses, and it's another thing to look up the addresses. But where the money is, we've got to actually talk to these people,
yeah,
and we've got to actually make offers on their houses. So that's kind of going to be the next step in the process. There's a few different things that you can do to get in touch with these people. Okay, one is right then and there. We didn't do this. We'll make a separate video where we drive for $1 again, and we actually go up to the door,
okay,
knock on the door, leave a card, leave some sort of contact information in the door. You definitely need to do that. That's step number 1. We didn't really do that because I actually didn't know that it was going to dwarf into this, which I'm glad it has, but I didn't know that it was going to be kind of a series. But that's great. We'll go do it again, and we'll leave some stuff. You've got some We Buy Houses signs now that you've written up.
Maybe.
We're going to put some, and this is another thing that you guys can do, and a lot of people, I get a lot of flack for this. Go put a We Buy Houses sign in someone's yard. If you know that house is vacant, go put it in someone's yard. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? The seller, the actual owner of the house, is going to call you. That's the worst thing, and that's what you want. So I don't have any problem putting a sign in someone's yard. Zero problem. So you can do that. You can put a card in there, in the door. You can talk to neighbors. That's another thing, and we're going to do all that. We'll make a video of that next. I know we're right around Christmas. Next week, we'll find a time. We'll go out and just. Obviously, you can't get as many addresses when you're stopping and you're doing stuff like that, but you might get a better quality lead.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. That's the first way you can get a hold of somebody. Is just knock on their door, leave something in their door, leave a We Buy Houses sign in their yard, talk to the neighbors. That's the first thing. Number 2 is you can try to Google search, especially if they're companies. A lot of times when you find vacant houses, it's going to be owned by an LLC or a corporation or something like that. If it's any sort of corporate entity, that you can just search the the Secretary of State records. You can search the business entity records right here, and you can do it all online. So you can find out the actual person who owns it. And sometimes, a lot of times, there's actually a phone number on the Secretary of State website.
Nice.
And if it's a business address, you can just Google the business, and there's probably going to be an address or a phone number on there. So you can either call them, you can just show up at the business. If it's a business, that shouldn't be it's not as intimidating as just blindly knocking on someone's door.
Yeah.
So that's kind of step 2, is find a phone number and find a way to get in touch with them. The last kind of resort, but you want to do this anyway, is to write them a letter. Okay, there are a couple things you want to do. I like to do one of 2 things. I either like to use a yellow pad. Hand me that yellow pad. If you don't have yellow pads, you can go and get these things. You can get 10 of them for about $5 at Walmart. So I love yellow pads. So I'll actually we've got red pens in the back. I'll take a red pen on a yellow pad and write. You don't want to write more than about 2 sentences. You don't want to lose someone's attention, and you don't want to give them so much information that they don't call you.
Yeah.
We want to leave it a little vague, where the postcards we send out are really vague, so everybody calls us, and it's really cool. And half the people are like, oh yeah, we don't need that. But we've captured their information. When they've called us, we've captured their information, and we can retarget these people. We can market to these people a totally different way, a way that's maybe we have their email address. We definitely have their mailing address, and now we've got their phone number. So we can just target them a different way and try to hit them at a different angle. So the more people you can get to call you, the better chance you have. And plus, when someone calls you, if you're salesy, if you're good with people, you can hopefully convince them to at least let you come meet them in person and talk to them about your house.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get into options and different things that you can offer people if they don't accept your cash offer. We'll get to that way on down the road. But as far as the letter goes, if you're gonna send someone a letter, definitely handwrite it. Okay, don't type it. We don't want to do anything like that to make it look official. We don't want to put letterhead. We don't want to do anything like that makes us look.
Put a card in it or anything.
Nope. Because I want this person to think that he's dealing with another human being, not a corporate entity. Yeah. And if you have a business card, then you look corporate.
Yeah.
You look too official for this guy. For even for me.
Yeah.
Even if you're approaching me. So I've just got a yellow piece of paper, and I'm going to handwrite 2 sentences. Hi, my name is Michael. I buy houses in Birmingham. I noticed that you own a house. I may be very interested in buying it. Please, if you have any interest in on selling it, give me a call back. Something like that. It's just 2 or 3 sentences, and it's handwritten, and you're just putting your name, Michael, phone number. So that's the next thing you're going to do is you're going to write them a handwritten letter. I'm going to go ahead and write one out, and I'm going to put it on the screen so you can see what we do. If you want to copy it, go ahead and take a screenshot of it and copy it.
A lot of times, I don't like putting my return address on stuff just for the same thing. I've done marketing before for some other business ventures, and I just kind of flub the address and make it almost illegible.
You don't want to do that.
Okay.
Because, like I said, and I know this might sound daunting to some people, but don't get discouraged when I say this, because it's natural and it happens to everybody, and it's just going to happen. About 20% of the letters you send are going to come back to you.
Okay.
And if you don't have a return address on there, you have no idea if that letter ever reached anyone. So you're assuming if it does not come back to you that they did receive it, and then you can retarget them and send them again. Send them like a postcard next time. Because you're building this list. The first thing you're going to do with this list is write the handwritten letter. That's number 1. Number 2, we're keeping this list, and in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you might send them another handwritten letter if you haven't heard anything back from them. Maybe write it a little bit differently. Maybe write it in a different color. Maybe instead of red ink on a yellow pad, maybe just get a blank white sheet of paper. You can do something like, I've tried desperately to reach you. Please call me back. It's urgent. You didn't even mention house. You didn't mention house. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box. Love to answer them for you. Hope you guys learned something. Talk to you soon.